Hello. It is your boy Ren Lambo. It is currently 10:43 p.m. in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. 28th of January. We're doing an Ethereum against US dollar analysis. Just going to give you an idea as to where price I believe we'll be heading towards. And just a heads up before we start, this is not financial advice. I repeat, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to buy, what to sell, nor am I telling you when to buy, nor am I telling you when to sell. So yeah, let's get to it. Cool. I'll do a far more detailed analysis to which I did beforehand, and believe it or not, the graph got really messy, and I thought to myself, you know what, it's not going to make much sense to my viewers if I have any viewers, that is. But yeah, we're just going to keep it very simple, straightforward. I think I can do maybe a detailed analysis maybe somewhere down the line, but cool. We can see that on a daily time frame, price has been moving up since May 2022, 2023, and essentially to 2024, and it's consolidated quite a bit here. I would say with quite a bit of sharp dips throughout the end of 2024. Understanding this, again, we're just going to look at short-term price movement as to where price is expected to go, essentially in the next few days, during the start of Feb to mid-Feb, really and truly. Cool. So as we can see here, price has started the downtrend, and this essentially started from 16th of December 2024. Price has moved down quite sharp. It didn't really take out the higher low as shown here, but it did take out the higher low indicated here. Right now, because price has done this, this is a huge indicator as to price has now shifted. Right, it's a market structure shift, as to some people like to say. Right now, because this has taken place, I'm gonna label this as a market structure. Where is an info line? This is a market structure shift. Right now, cool. Why is this being shown? How do I get rid of this? Oh no, I don't want that. All right, cool. That's a market structure shift, right? So we see here that price has taken out that higher low, and because of that, it's a huge indicator that price is now going to move in the opposite direction, which is the downtrend. Because this was an uptrend, now this is a downtrend, right? On top of this, we see fair value gaps that have been created. One here, and this is between these two bar charts. And what has happened, price has gone in, grabbed that liquidity, and is now moving down. Right, this is again in support of this, and what do we see? We see another market structure shift here. Oh, it's not really a straight line, believe it or not. I used to be a graphic designer, and the fact that I can't do this anymore is embarrassing. Market structure shift. Cool, right? Again, as I mentioned, price has gone up, grabbed that liquidity, it has now moved down, and as it moved down, that price here has taken out that higher low or lower high, whatever you want to say, right? Which again further indicates that price is moving in the opposite direction. Once it's done that, again, price, what did it do? It went into this fair value gap between this bar chart and this bar chart, grab that liquidity, and now moving down. Now we have to ask, where is price moving? So clearly, when price essentially made this first movement here on the 12th or the 13th of Jan, it grabbed liquidity sitting within this miniature fair value gap, right, between this bar chart here. We're going to change the color for this. We're going to change it to green, and we're going to change this guy into blue, because the color green and blue reminds me of Ethereum. Don't ask me why. Don't ask why. I just think it does. Cool. We're going to do another one here, and I'll explain why I'm doing another one here, and potentially another one here, but we're not going to focus too much on the lower fair value gap here, right? And I'll explain why. But it's good to still, it is still good to have it, simply because it gives you an indication of what to expect, and it helps you with your risk and your analysis as to when you choose to do whatever you wish to do within without Ethereum. So again, we're still within the daily time frame, by the way, right? So clearly, look how much analysis we've already have done. So price, again, grab that liquidity, very likely to move down, call into this fair value gap, move back up, and then move back down, right? Or what you may do, you might grab, oh crap, let me delete this. I don't need this. I'm gonna copy this one, and what I'm gonna do, I wanna put this bad boy over here. You know why? Because I wanna. Anyways, yes. So there's a very miniature fair value gap here, so it's very likely the price is going to go here, go into this miniature fair value gap / order block, grab that liquidity and move down. It's going to respect this downward trend. Again, if it does that, it's going to move down, or what it can do, it's just going to move all the way down and go into this fair value gap, grab that liquidity, and then move back up, respecting this diagonal downward trend / resistance line, or go into this fair value gap and then can continue to move downwards. So essentially, what I'm sort of expecting is price to move downwards, continue to move down in some shape or form, right? Now this might happen in the next few days. The last fair value gap, the reason why I've drawn it out is simply because there is a fairly juicy fair value gap sitting right at the bottom here, right? The fact that price can be it could be pressured to move into this and then move back up, and again we can clearly see it's supported by that downward support line that I've drawn out during the start of this video. But I'm going to focus within the second fair value gap here, and this is simply because if we were to scroll to the left slightly, we can clearly see that this fair value gap is what it is. I wouldn't say respected, but it it has previous levels of resistance, right? Levels of resistance that exist within the same range, right? So this is one range here, right? So this range here with my brush, god damn it, where's my brush? So this range of this fair value gap, right, as you can clearly see, these resistance points that I've sort of drawn out sit within this range of this fair value gap. So the likelihood of price going into here is very high, grab that liquidity as well as bounce off the previous levels of resistance and use it as support to again go into here and then move back up. All right, which it may then break out of this resistance that I've drawn during the start of the video, or it might respect it and continue to move down into this fair value gap here. And again, the reason why I mentioned this fair value gap is simply because there is quite a bit of liquidity sitting in this range here, to which price has not taken yet. Even if we were to scroll to the left, we can clearly see that price within this range of the fair value gap is in some shape or form, let me straighten this bad boy out, sorry, there we go, is sitting within the ranges of previous support slash resistance that was created. So again, we've got one here, we've got one here, and we've got one here, right? We could even go further, right? And we've got quite a few here actually. So it's quite crazy as to how precise we can be. But again, we're not we're not working with lines, we're working within areas, right? Areas, because price can fluctuate, remember that. Now we're going to go into the 4-hour time frame. Yes, sir. Cool. So we can clearly see that there was a miniature fair value gap here within the 4-hour time frame. What did happen? Price went in, grabbed it, and again here, look again. Fair value gaps are king. Fair value gaps are king, right? Mr. Frag Masters, if he's watching this, he knows what I'm talking about. And I have always said this, that fair value gaps are king, only if you do it correctly. So look, we had a fair value gap here that was created, right? Right? If you were to trade this, to which, you know, if you're a trader, if you were to trade this, right, the likelihood of price coming into here is very high, to which it did, clearly. Yes, it broke out of it, however, it didn't go past the end of this price here, right? It fell in within this range, it grabbed liquidity and it moved back up, right? The fact that even here it just touched it, it just tiptoed, but the fact that it didn't do it completely, so you had to come back and grab liquidity and then fully move back in, right? In support of this, again, we can clearly see another fair value gap here, right? Cool. We're gonna make this yellow. This fair value gap here. What happened? Price went down, went here and grabbed that liquidity and is now moving down. So the likelihood of price to move further down is very, very high, or it might create more fair value gaps, to which it would sort of create its own miniature downtrend within the 4-hour time frame. So we're going to go up, we're going to go down, we're going to go up, go down, go up, grab fair value, go down, go up, go down, go up, and so on, right? And then eventually meet within the fair value gap that I'm essentially saying that we are going to head towards, right? Even then, you know, the fair value gap that I identified during the daily time frame, right, the miniature one, we can clearly see there's a fairly juicier one sitting within the 4-hour time frame here between these two. So the likelihood of price again going back up to grab it whilst respecting the downward resistance line to move further down is really, really high, right? Cool. Understanding this, we're going to move into the 1-hour time frame just to give us an idea as to what is going on. A very similar analysis to what I've done in terms of fair value gaps and support and resistance, keeping it really short. And you can clearly see here, right, within the 1-hour time frame, that the market structure shift really taking place, right? Price was moving up, and what happened here? Boom, price just broke that market structure shift I identified before. It completely broke that, and it's now sort of telling you, you know what, we're gonna go the other way, right? Again, same thing here. Boom, it broke that. It broke that level of previous lower highs, right? And it's gonna keep moving downwards. Let's go into the 15-minute time frame. Now we're getting to the juicy bits now, right? Now this is someone who wants to do more day trading, you know, but again, this is just going to give us an indication. The reason why I'm showing this is because I want to give you guys an indication of where I think price will be going in the long term by looking at short-term analysis, which is in support of my long-term analysis that I've done within the daily time frame and the 4-hourly time frame. Coolio. Again, we can clearly see price moving downwards within the 15-minute time frame. What did it do? It's grabbing those miniature fair value gaps, right? You can see here, price fair value gap here, price gone in, grabbed it, boom. Same thing here, right? Again, not all fair value gaps will be reached, but it's good to identify them. We've got one here, boom, reached. Again, look, say it with me, guys. 3, 2, 1, boom, reached, right? It's reached it and it's moving down. It's going to create further ones, right? The likelihood, again, the likelihood of it going back up is very high. Again, doing the 50-minute time frame only. I say 50-minute time frame is simply because we have quite a bit of liquidity sitting below here, right? We have quite a bit of liquidity sitting below here, right? So the fact that price will go down here, grab liquidity, and then bounce back up, which is in support of what? This previous, let's not use a rectangle. That is illegal. Oh God. This previous support, right? The fact that price will grab liquidity that is sitting below here, right here, sitting below here, grab that which is in support of this previous support, and then move back up is high, right? But this is within the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, we don't want to get confused. Oh yeah, I'm not paying for TradingView, I'm broke. Anyways, yes, you know, so grab that liquid and move back up within the 50-minute time frame, right? I don't want this to be confused with, oh, so does that now mean that price is going to move back up and break out of the downtrend? I'm not really saying that. I'm saying within the 50-minute time frame that could happen, but it will still respect the daily analysis that I've showed, which is what? Respecting the fair value gaps that I've identified above as well as below, in support of the downwards trend that we're seeing within the daily time frame. We're going to go into the 5. Let me just go back to the daily actually, just to show you. Remember, zoom out when you're unsure as to where price is going, right? I like to use daily because it's giving me indication as to where price is going within a daily time frame, you know. So then when I'm looking to buy or sell, you know, I get an idea as to when it would be best to do. And this is because, as you know, a lot of people get FOMO. They get, you know, they get a lot of FOMO because they're sort of fearing of missing out, but they don't seem to understand that, look, don't rush things. Price can go back into the price range that they want it to go back into so that they can buy or sell, right? So I'll zoom out to get a better idea as to where price is moving, right? So again, everything that I've shown is in support of all of this, right? Within the daily time frame, right? Price is doing lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, highs. Again, supporting this diagonal downward trend, moving into this fair value gap, and then maybe going back up and then moving down, right? But what I also want to show was within the 5-minute time frame. So now we're getting to the much more juicier parts. This ain't really important, to be honest, in this case as to what I'm doing, but again, it's just supporting what I've drawn out within the 15-minute time frame. As you can see, fair value gaps, you know, it is going to be respecting that, you know, and then doing what it needs to do as time goes by, and it gives you a much better indication as to where liquidity really sits if you want to trade within the 5-minute time frame. So when am I getting my Lambo? I am going to be getting my Lambo when price, I expect to again come into this fair value gap again within the daily time frame, and then eventually come into this fair value gap where price sits between $2,891.10 and $2,750.50, right? So price is very likely to come in this range. It can consolidate a bit more, go back up, respect that downwards resistance line, and then further move back down. And yeah, and then potentially go into this fair value gap. So this fair value gap here is a very, very juicy fair value gap, and that is essentially looking at prices that sit within the 2,700 range to the 2,400 range, right? Could this happen? I do believe so. If price breaks out of this previous support that I've identified that respect or sit within the range of this fair value gap, that I think is the most important. Yeah, so it can happen. It really can happen. And just remember, price was here literally back in November. Literally back in November here. Right here, price was here back in November. So not too long ago if you really think about it. But yeah, as you know, DeepSeek is one of the major contributors to why price is moving downwards for a lot of the markets. That includes not just crypto, but also the S&P 500, our tech / AI stock, and that includes the likes of OpenAI to Nvidia and so on. So yeah, so like we have quite a few confluences, not just from an analysis point of view, but also from what's happening within the market for price to continue to move downwards. This could be short term, this could be long term. Well, I mean short term and long term, I'm not talking about, when I say short term, I'm talking about within 2025 or so, right? It could be long term, you don't know, who knows, no one knows the future, right? But my expectations is that during the start of 2025, end of Jan, start of Feb or so, or mid Feb, expect price to move in within this range. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, this has been your boy When Lambo. If you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed to my previous videos, please do it for this video. Check out my other videos. I'm a fairly new YouTuber. However, I've been within the crypto game for quite a bit of time, and I thought to myself, hey, why not give my analysis to the wider public? This is not financial advice, for the love of God, guys. This is not financial advice. This is just me giving you my thoughts, my opinions as to what I expect to happen. Over and out.